Hey guys, welcome back to the Project DIY channel. On today's project, we're going to be installing a new TRD Pro grill in my 2024 Tacoma. Let's get started. Alright, so today we're going to be installing a TRD Pro grill from a company called Car Trim Home. This is not an OEM grill. This is an aftermarket grill made to look like the TRD Pro grill. And Car Trim Home sent me this grill to install and to check out and to give you a review on. Alright, so this grill comes with everything you need to install it. Has a light bar, has the letters say Toyota here on the top. This light bar installs in the grill. And one thing I can tell you right now is this is not a powerful light bar. Those are small wires. So that's not going to carry much current. So that I'm sure that light bar is not going to be anything to write home about. Now this grill also has the opening for your camera, and my truck does have the camera on the front, so we're going to be transferring that over. And also there's a few other items on the stock grill that have to be transferred over, and we'll get that done and get it installed. All right, to start off with, we're going to be removing the front bumper. And this is seems like a daunting task, but it's not too bad. There's bolts under the front, bolts across the top that have to be removed. And then there are some bolts and screws and clips here in the side of each fender well. And then you can pop this loose. You have to pop the fender flare loose, and there's a screw in the side. Take that out, and then you can pop the sides of the bumper loose on each side, and then you just pull the whole thing off the front. And I am going to be using a table to set this up on, and I'll put something down on the table to keep from getting any kind of scratches or anything, because there's some bolts in the back that we have to take out to remove that. First to remove the shutter that's inside there, and then also to remove the grill. So first things first, we're going to remove this intake. This comes off pretty easy. Just push down on these clips, snap all 4 of them down, pull up on this, and it pops right out. Don't do like I did, and drop your clip. There it is. Once you have this out, you can see there's 1, 2, 3 bolts across the top, and there are 2 wiring harnesses here. Actually 3 wiring harnesses that have to be taken loose. Once you have the wiring harnesses loose, there's 3 10mm bolts, and then there are some bolts on the underside. All right, so under here there are only 2, one here and one here. These other bolts are from the spoiler that was on the front that I removed. So you just need to remove those 2 bolts. All right, next we have a couple of tins here and here, and one up here. We need to take these out so we can get the fender flares loose. Pull that out of the way. Also, there's a couple of plastic clips. Turn these half a turn. Then those should just pop out. Pull those loose. Slide these back. And once you get those out, you can just grab a hold of the fender flare and pull on it, and then that will expose the screw right there, Phillips screw. 4 more 10mm bolts that I missed. 1 here, 2 on the other side. So let's get those off. Those just go into the inner fender liner. And then there's another one. underneath the fender liner. So that makes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 of them. Once you've got those screws out on the side, got all your bolts out, you can grab a hold of the bumper, pull on it, and it'll pop out. And you'll want to pull up on these tabs that you took the bolts out of, slide that back. And I did find another wiring harness here that has to be unhooked. Also missed a couple of tabs. Push down on those. And then, whoops, dig that out. Pull up on those, make sure you hang on to them. And once you get all that, you want to pull straight out. You may have to pick up. There are a couple pieces down here that this sits on that you have to kind of pull it out of, and it should just slide right off. Now you want to lay a blanket on your table or wherever you're working on your bumper because you don't want to scratch anything. So the shutter has to come off next, and there's 10mm bolts that hold that in. So we'll get those taken off. All right, we got the shutter out of the way. Next, we got to get the camera taken off. So I'll unplug the harness on this and get it, the screws out and pulled out of there. With the camera out of the way, there's some screws all the way around that need to be taken out. And then there are some clips. You can see these, push these in. You can push the grill forward. The grill has to come out the front of the bumper. This grill was rather difficult to get out. I think there are 18 screws all the way around, and I think the intent is to take this inner piece out, the whole part, and then the grill sandwiches in between it, in between this inner piece and the outer part of the bumper. I had a hard time. I couldn't figure out how to get this completely off, but I was able to get this up and off of here far enough that I could snake the grill out from between. Now, like I said, this grill is sandwiched in between the rubber plastic part of the bumper and this plastic inner piece. So that's how you get that out of there. It's not easy. Hardest part so far. All right, to get this knockout out of here for your front camera, it's just held in by some little pieces around it, and I'm just going to take a pocket knife and cut those pieces and pull that out. And once you get that knocked out, your camera just fits right back in, same way it did on your stock grill. Slides onto these tabs in the back, screws go in it, and it only goes one way. All right, next I'm going to mount the light in here. This just sits down in here, and there's, let's see, 5 screws that hold it in, and it does go a certain way. There's, in the center, there's only one bolt or one screw on the top, and there's only one screw hole in the center, so you have to put that in there that way. So there's 5 screws. All right, got those 5 screws in. See it from the front. Next, we'll put the Toyota letters in. All right, so I'm assuming for reasons of copyright, they cannot send you this with the word Toyota on it. So what they do instead is they send you the letters. And if you use this piece, look closely, you can see the T-O-Y-O-T-A on there. So that's how you know where the letters go. Lay those on there. There's screw holes through the back, screw holes in the back of the letters. Run your screws in and attach all the letters to this, and then this will attach to the grill. So there's the A mounted. And you do not want to tighten these too tight. They're small and easy to strip, so go lightly on the torque. Once you get those on there, they should look like that. And they do give you an extra T and an A. in case you lose one. Now to mount this in here, simply drops down in the slot, 4 screws. I'm not sure what's going on here, but you can see where these screw holes are. This one, however, is way down in there. I don't know if it's broke off or what, but I'm going to try to use a longer screw to screw that in, but I don't like that. All right, I was able to get that in there. 3 screws worked perfect. This one right here, I had to use a longer screw to get that in there. I'm 110% sure that's not supposed to be like that, but that worked, and it will hold it. There's the grill assembled. Looks pretty good. Let's see if we can get it in the bumper. All right, let me see if I can squeeze this in here, and then we'll come back. All right, I was able to get this in here. Slid it in between the plastic part of the bumper, the center plastic piece, this piece. And once you get it in there, you snap it into this piece all the way around. And then we're going to go back and snap the plastic part of the bumper back in all the way around. Put all the screws in it. All right, got all the screws back in, all the wiring harnesses placed and plugged back in, camera hooked up, radar sensor hooked up. I'm going to run this cable for this light, figure out how to do that underneath the shutter. I don't want this wire to mess with the shutter or anything, so I'll have to see how that goes. All right, so I ran that wiring harness for the light down the camera harness over to this other harness on this side and up, because on this side of the truck is where the wiring harness is for the switch panel on the inside. So that'll give me a place to hook that up. All right, one thing I just found out. These inserts that bolt the shutter to the bumper can fall out. So be careful with that. Luckily, mine is right there, so I can put it back in. Got everything back together and ready to go on. I'm gonna have to hurry up here. I'm losing sunlight. But to get this back on, you set it back on there just like it came off. You struggle with it for a little while until eventually it just accidentally pops in place, and there you go. Last piece and it's done, with this part of it anyway. Set this down in there. Push clips. All right, there we go. Got it all back on, all back together. Added a little extra TRD emblem to it. Got the light hooked up, just temporarily, just to show you what it looks like. I think it looks good. It's a good looking grill. Only issue I had was that one little area with the letters where I had to put the longer bolt in there. Other than that, everything seemed to be okay. So this is the switch panel I've got this wired to. Got buttons 1, 2, and 3 here, auxiliary. And I've got it wired to number 2. And right down here, next to the windshield washer fluid bottle, is a blank plug. That's where those wires for the switch panel come out. This harness here comes with the truck. You'll find it in your glove box. There's 3 different wires in it. There's there's a large white wire, a black wire, a green, and another white. And all I did was simply wire the black wire from the light to the large white wire that's on this plug. And I don't remember which color wire it is, but I wired the red wire from the light to either the black, green, or white wire, and that's the power wire for the light. So the light bar on the grill is controlled by the switch panel now inside the truck. Now I am going to be making a new video here soon on a relay controlled switch panel for any lights that you add to a truck that will turn the light bars and stuff on and off when your high beam headlights are on. All right, guys, I appreciate you watching the installation of this TRD Pro grill from Car Trim Home. Hopefully you learned something, and if you decide to put one on yours, maybe this will help you out. If you wouldn't mind, go down into the comments, leave me a comment, let me know what you think. Hit that like button. Also, make sure you subscribe so you don't miss any more of my content. Thank you guys once again. I'll see you on the next one.